most of the first quarter and then obviously unravelled after that. What happened, do you think?
Yeah, it was as disappointing a day as you've seen for our club. It was poor. I thought Hawthorn were terrific. They handled the conditions better. They structurally set up better. It certainly didn't reflect anything of the way that we'd played for a while now. So that was disappointing. We went away from some of the things that have been really critical to us. But, there was some critical contests today and a lot of critical contests where we just weren't to the level. So that's disappointing because we spent a lot of time building that up as a footy club. But that's probably where the game was won in the end. They probably won both ends of the ground convincingly.
Players just seem to lack answers, sort of moving the footy forward, given how well they set up behind the footy. Did you try anything from the coach's box to give them a solution to that problem? Yeah,
we tried multiple things. I think when we had a lot of things going on that weren't the way that we liked them. We didn't like the way we looked behind the ball. We probably didn't like the way we looked in front of the ball. Probably been a strength of ours so far this summer, being able to move the ball forward and create really good contests forward to centre. We weren't able to do that as the game went on, and we lost our way structurally. So we tried some things. They didn't work, and to Hawthorn's credit, I thought they were outstanding. They handled the day better than what we did, and they found a way to get the result that they did.
How much does that have all the old questions about Melbourne resurface? The stereotypes and, what, as you say, the stuff that you've spent so much time saying that's no longer how we go about it. How big a setback is today for your mob?
Oh, that's what you're going to get. That's the perception that we've had for a while. We're working really hard to change that. Today was a step backwards on that front. We know that we're going to get challenged, and I think that's the great thing about this game, that you can have a result like that and you challenge yourself internally as a club, as coaches, as players, and it's about how we respond now. Today was a really disappointing day for the club. We've spent a lot of time building up the way we play. It didn't reflect anything that we like in terms of how we play, but we get an opportunity. We're in it together to respond, and we get that chance against Richmond on a pretty big stage coming up. So the reality is those question marks will remain the same. They're not changing until we actually do something about it consistently.
What do you think's going on the forward line, Simon? You repeatedly beat your opposition for inside 50s, getting the supply forward, but you're not getting the conversion or the execution, I imagine. What's your take on the situation up there?
Yeah, probably, Jay. It hasn't been as bad in the last couple of weeks. Probably we would like to have executed a bit better last week in the third quarter, but in general we've been relatively efficient there. We're probably getting a lot of inside 50s. Today just didn't reflect our, we lost our way forward to the footy. There's no doubt about that, but it probably stemmed from, we were really badly beaten in our defensive 50 today. So I think we're talking about forward of the ball, but we had as bigger problems behind the ball. So, as I said, I think Hawthorn structurally set up the game better than us. They won a lot more critical contests, which is something that's been our strength. And, we had a lot of holes to fill today. So, as I said, we get 10 days or 9 days to really get ourselves back playing the way we know we can play.
We talk a lot about Jake Lever, obviously, and him fitting into the system, but... defensively, repeatedly this year, you've been scored against easily. What do you do now about that? Because you've been sticking with, the similar bunch of guys, Oscar McDonald and Jake. What do you do now?
Yeah, look, we're continuing to work on our stuff behind the ball. It's probably something that we haven't been quite happy with for the whole year. It's something that we're continuing to work on. But we've still got some work to do in that area. It certainly doesn't seem right at the moment. But I think that's the great thing. We're at round 4. We're still learning about our group. We're still learning what works for us. We've just got to get back to doing some of the things that we know we're good at too. Because that's really, you want to continue to work on your strengths and chip away at some of the things that probably aren't to the level that you want. And behind the ball is something we're working on.
Simon, Max had 66 hit-outs today, but you lost the clearances by 17. How did you see that midfield balance today and stoppage balance?
Yeah, Max has obviously continued his form in terms of his ruck craft. But our roles around stoppage were poor today. We can't sugarcoat that. We've got some work to do there. But as I said, every phase of our game wasn't to the level. So stoppages and clearance has been a strength of ours. We need to get back to making it a strength again. And I guess that's what, to follow on from Jay's question, we've got to make sure our strengths are our strength. Really good roles around the footy, perform them strongly, win the ball and get in our forward half.
Tom Mitchell, but Alistair Clarkson just said before that he felt like that sort of made your midfield a bit weaker, given that Jones plays such an important on-field role. Were you content with how that matchup played out?
Yeah, I thought Nathan played a terrific team first role. I still think Tom had some influence in the game, but I thought Nathan Jones' ability to go and do that role was really important for us. We've got a lot of midfielders that go through our midfield, so that didn't hinder our ability to win the ball. Nathan's one player of 8 or 9 guys that go through there, but I thought Nathan completed his role exceptionally well for the day.
And Jeddah came off at one point, looked like a knee or something. And he obviously came back on. Did you have an update on where he's at?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit sore in his ankle, just a slight roll to his ankle, but he should be fine. We've got 10 days. We've got to get ourselves together. I think we as coaches and players are really looking forward to it. We had a long break, which is sometimes you want the game to come a bit quicker now, so you can get back in there. But we've got to rebound, and I think as a club we need to respond as best we can. Yeah, look, we've touched base. They're really disappointed. They're, clearly it didn't resemble anything of the way that we've trained and played for most of the year in all phases of the game. So we'll review it strongly. We always do. We learn from what we do and we look to get better. But as a playing group, they'll be looking to respond as best they can. They're a proud group. They know they've done a lot of work to build themselves into the position they are, and they know that today didn't reflect anything of the way they want to go about their footy, so they're looking forward to responding.
I know it's early, Simon, but would you forecast potentially a lot of change? Well, the external point of view would be for mass changes, but would you expect a fair few changes in 10 days' time?
Oh, look, it's a long way away. Let's review the tape. Let's have a sit down in the cold light of day, have a really good look at it, analyse everything and make sure we make really informed decisions before we start jumping at those sorts of things. Cheers, guys.